Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. As he said, I'm Gloria. I'm from Rwanda, one of the smallest country in Africa, but very beautiful and with a rapid development. Currently, Rwanda is the first country in Africa to host a world-class university, Carnegie Mellon, in Presence campus. So where I'm a student, as he said, in Masters of Science in Information Technology. In today's presentation, we'll be discussing more about the background of medical record system in Africa, and specifically in my country, in Rwanda, because since I was born, I've been in my country, so I'm more familiar with this system in my country more than in other countries. So as you can see, the topic is Open Medical Record System. OpenMRS, it's actually an existing system, very robust. And I've put an A+ because there's kind of some functions that I'm proposing that the government of Rwanda or have institutions in my country could just include in this system. So as I said, we'll be looking at some background about the systems which has been used in Rwanda, but mostly we'll be focusing on system which has been using to treat patients with chronic diseases, patients with need of follow-up, a daily follow-up or a weekly follow-up. So when I started this research, it was not only on the academic purpose, but on the situation that my nation and my family was just facing at that time. 15 years ago, my mom was diagnosed of having diabetes, but at that time, she was not warned, she was not alert how serious her situation could be. Because at that time, doctors told her that it was kind of normal of having a high level of blood glucose when you are pregnant. So she took her dietary and diabetes medication at that pregnancy period. But after that period, she went to her she went back to her normal life. However, her situation went worse with the time, as in August it will be 3 years with her using a prosthesis of a foot prosthesis because she got gangrene because the blood sugar was, I don't know, was like worse in her situation. So, but this was not only her situation, but her family situation, because after a few months, she got a call from her brother telling her that he was having a diabetes health, a very serious health condition, as at that time her brother was getting high level of insulin injection so that he can get better. So I was kind of, this could be, okay, what if they knew that they would have this disease beforehand? I was just confident that if they would know that they were likely to get this disease, they will at least took precautions beforehand. Then, as I was not a doctor or a nurse, I went back and I started just learning about system used to treat them at that time. By analyzing the system, I found 3 types of system in health sector in Rwanda. 2 of them were paper-based, and the third one was electronic system. So the first system was whereby the users have notebook. Let us take like a patient who is going in a hospital. Actually, I put 4 hours because Rwanda is a country with hills. So if you don't have a car, you have to walk, and with like 5 hills, so a round trip could take you like 4 hours. So arriving in the hospital, the person in charge of registering you will just register you in big hospital register and send you to the nurse. The nurse will be taking some basic health tests and send you to the doctor. The doctor will again write in your health notebook, and which is the same for lab guys and pharmacy guys. So after receiving health services in that health center, you as a patient, you have to go home with your health notebook. And the second one was whereby they uses hospital files. So for the hospital files, you just go into the hospital, they register you, then they give you an ID for your file. Then at every time you enters in that hospital, they will be just checking your ID, then find your file in 1,000, 100, and 1,000 files, and so that they can give you that file, which you'll be using in your visit to the hospital. At the time you leave the hospital, you will leave your file there, then go with your file ID only. So the third system, as I said, which is electronic. In Rwanda, we have many different electronic medical record systems. However, these systems are not being used as they should be used. We are kind of using this system for administrative purpose, because you can find a doctor who is writing an observation in the system, but still using the paper at the other side. Then when you go out for like lab tests, he'll be giving you the paper to bring to the lab guys. And the lab guys, they may enter the lab results in the system, but again, they have again to write your result on the paper. And this system, even if we have many of them, they are not connected. They are kind of, if I have my own clinic, I'll be using my system, which will be a very different system to another clinic or public hospitals. So after analyzing this system, I found that you as a patient who can just move around in the country, you cannot be treated, who has a chronic disease, who deserves a follow-up, a daily follow-up, you cannot be treated using this system. Then I said, if now I know about the system which has been used to treat my mother's family, what about the situation of non-communicable disease in my country or even in the world? Also shocking when I found these kind of figures on the World Health Organization that says that 38 million of people are dying each year because of these diseases. And in that 38 million of people dying, 28 million of deaths are occurring in low and middle income countries, including my country. And 16 million of these deaths were premature, what they call premature death. And in that premature death, I mean 16 million, 82% of this premature were just occurring in low and middle income countries. And in Rwanda, the probability of dying between 30 to 70 was 19%. All these figures are from World Health Organization. Then I said this was not a problem of only my mother's family, but a burden to the world. Then I said, as a student, because I was a student, and as a Rwandan who lives in Rwanda, you know, the GDP of Rwanda is still low, I said, the system that I'll be proposing to this country should at least not requiring money resources. Then I said, yeah, what about just finding a system which will require our time, maybe energy, maybe, I don't know, but not like being hostages of big software companies where we'll be just paying a monthly fees for the upgrade, for, I don't know, everything. If they change something in their system, they just come and tell us, you know what, we have to pay this money so that you can have this version of the software. That's where I came up with open sources. I said that with the open source, we can get something, we can get knowledge from the open source, and we can just put in what we have. If I can build like a module, then just upload it publicly so that everyone can benefit from my work. That would be good. Then after just deciding that the system that I will be proposing will be open source, that's where I found OpenMRS. Actually, when I started this research, I didn't just figure out that I will end up on OpenMRS. I knew that OpenMRS was in Kenya, in Rwanda, but it was not my purpose to use this system. But finally, I just found this system. The OpenMRS, it's a web, and currently it's a mobile. They've released a mobile version of it, but it's still in testing stage. So this system was developed using Java. Actually, it started in Kenya, as I said. And the purpose, when they started this project, the purpose was not actually building a robust system as OpenMRS is currently. Their purpose was to use this system for a research. They wanted just to collect data for HIV patients so that they can follow them, they can know, okay, what is happening actually in areas which has a high figures of HIV patients. So this system arrived in Rwanda in 2005, and again with the partnership of partners in health. And again also they came in Rwanda with the same purpose of collecting information about HIV. So when actually after time, people started just getting interested in this system. That's where the modular architecture of OpenMRS was born. Everyone wanted to use this system for its own for their own purpose, for their own need, so that at least they can customize the system based on what they want. It has a concept dictionary basis. If you are building a module, so you have first of all to define everything, every time you'll be using in your module. And the data are encrypted. I mean, if it's a web-based application, so there's SSL, there's other just applications which they are being used to secure their data. This is the structure of OpenMRS. As you can see, it has a layered structure. Starting by the bottom, there's a database layer where it is an abstraction of data model. They use Hibernate object. The Hibernate object actually, in simple way, it helps to the user to see the relationship between tables, between database tables. On the service layer, it's a layer which manages the business logic of the whole system. They're using APIs and Java. Then the presentation layer, it's like a user interface layer. They use as jQuery so that they can ease the interconnection between JavaScript and the browser. GSP for dynamic web pages, and the modular part whereby you can just upload or download a module and customize it on your own need. This is the database of OpenMRS, but as you can see, it was in 2013, but currently, yes, of course, it has evolved. Then the logic of the solution. As I said, the solution that I'm proposing, it's OpenMRS, the open source, but I'm including a module of non-communicable disease. And also in Rwanda, we will have what we call community health workers. Because for me, I thought that it will be good for Rwandans to take care of themselves, to take care of their families in the villages. We have this culture of having community, and I think even here in the US, they are community health workers. These persons in my country are trained by the Ministry of Health so that they can provide health services in the villages. So this actually is the logic, the abstract logic of the solution. And the non-communicable disease module will be using such kind of basic screening. Like, we decided that we'll be starting with only 2 non-communicable diseases, diabetes and cardiovascular. The system actually, or the function of the system that currently we are designing and we are doing the architecture of it, will be the system which will look at we look at the pattern in the information entered, then be able to alert the doctor if you are likely to get such kind of disease. So going deep in the module, in Rwanda, I think next month, Rwanda is launching what we are calling Smart National ID, which will be including a small chip memory the small chip memory will be containing your information, that information. So for this system, they will be using this smart ID for the registration, so that at least if they have your information contained in this card, they will be able to see your family dependent and members. That is our point. That actually is what is interesting us in this smart card, the family dependent and members for this kind of module. So as other systems, so in Rwanda, before you just, I don't know if it's the same like here, before you just meet with a doctor, you have to pass by a nurse. So the nurse will be the one to take some basic information like weight, like height, for the BMI, like blood sugar, so that he can send you to the doctor. By sending you to the doctor should be able to see you on the waiting list. When he clicks on you, he'll be able to see your profile, then, of course, having some places to write his observation and prescription. And for the non-communicable disease vulnerability part, the system should at least be able to find a pattern in the information entered by the nurses, so that the system can say, based on maybe your weight, your height, we are still just currently we are still consulting doctors. Based on what the nurses enters in the system should tell to the doctor, based on this information entered today, this person is likely to get, there's some abnormal information in his system. And the system, based on your smart ID card, should at least be able to go in the information about your family members, your family dependent, to see if one of them have ever just had the non-communicable disease. So in order to be sure if what the system is alerting to the doctor can just recommend some tests. Then after getting the result of the test, he may just be sure if you are likely to get those diseases. And if yes, he may send an email or an SMS to the community health workers in your village to alert them that you are at risk of getting this disease. And yes, of course, they will start the follow-up, the daily follow-up or weekly follow-up based on what the doctor will be recommending. Yeah, this is the community health workers. The module that we are using currently, we have about 12 modules that we are okay. That is like a basic of the system. So we are still. It may increase, the number may increase or decrease, but currently we have like this kind of modules, and okay, our module is not included there because it will be the one we'll be developing. The main key success of this system will be data sharing. Currently, we are conducting a survey on who are willing to share their data. So we are conducting a survey telling people or asking people if your data, if your health history data can help you to save the life of your family members. Are you really willing to share your data? And by the end of May, we want to know really at what percentage Rwandans are willing to share their health history data, and who has time for electronic system. As I said, so even if we have those electronic system, some doctors or even health caregiver, they are not using this system. But with those problems, we said that the government health policy could come and play a big role in the success of this system. So as my analysis, I found that non-communicable disease can be treated by oral medication, by the change of behavior. So if I know what to eat and how to just treat my life, I'm sure that this disease can be treated. And okay, they are not curable, but they are treatable. So as a conclusion, As a conclusion, this conclusion, it's a statement from the World Health Organization report about non-communicable disease, which is about to build a world free of avoidable burden of non-communicable disease. Thank you.
Question for you. How were you able to track relationships between the subscribers of the system, or the people with the health ID card?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned family, right?
Yeah.
Tracking family.
Yeah.
Was that self-reported
Mm-hmm.
by each of the family members that had a card? Were you able to track people that didn't have a card and all of that?
This is actually this system. We made the scope of it. We say that will be starting with people with the national ID. So if you have your national ID, this, as you saw, the smart national ID contains the name and the information of your family members. So this system, that's the duration actually. The duration is based on the smart national ID number. Yeah.
Did you store any type of medical images in this system, like X-ray photos or other type of
Yes. Okay. Currently, for us, we are kind of on the early stage, but OpenMRS does it. With OpenMRS, you can store videos, pictures, everything. You can store it
Do they go in the MySQL database, or where do they go?
in.
The videos, the pictures, where do they store them? Like the architecture?
Yeah, they store them in in a server. They have servers like in Kenya.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like in Kenya, they store those files in servers which will be running in their database.
Did you look into things like content management systems to store that information, like Documentum? I think they have some type of healthcare plugin that you can use, or
We analyzed the OpenMRS, and we found that OpenMRS has, I don't know, it's kind of sophisticated functions.
Okay.
So yeah, for storing, yeah.
Thank you.
To what extent do community healthcare workers have internet access to be able to work with the system, or would they be accessing the system through mobile phone or other kinds of interface?
Yeah, as I said, the OpenMRS released the mobile version of it. So for the community health workers, we are assuming that they will be using the mobile version.
Okay.
Does Rwanda have a standardized set of diagnosis and procedure codes they use, or did you borrow those from another country?
Excuse me?
I'm wondering if Rwanda if you were able to standardize on a set of diagnosis or procedure coding for the communicable diseases?
Okay. Currently, I'm not sure if Rwanda has it, but we believe that about the diagnosis, if it's diabetes everywhere. So if there are some available documentation or available way of just of like tracking the diabetic in other countries, or even in my country, it will be the same, because the disease is the same and the cause of the disease is the same. So,
what were the challenges of implementing this?
the first challenge actually is to have the access to the smart ID, the smart national ID, because the government has, first of all, to approve it, and the second one is to access their database. So if they are willing to give us access to their information, so actually that's the first challenge that we have currently. Yeah.
Okay, seems to be done. Thank you for interesting talk.